Okay, hello everyone. My name is Angela Hobson, and I am the Assistant Dean for Public Health at the Brown School. I want to say thank you so much for joining us and watching our overview of our curriculum and our program today. I'm going to be joined by Ragini Maddipati. She is a faculty member in our Office of Field Education, and she'll be joining me a little bit later and will give an introduction of herself in just a minute. But today we're going to go over what our program looks like. We'll give you an overview of our curriculum and our field education requirements. So to start off, we want to talk a little bit about our mission at the Brown School. So we are here to educate and prepare future social work and public health leaders in areas of policy, practice, and research. We aim to pioneer research and apply results to impact policy and practice locally, nationally, and internationally. And we aim to collaborate with organizations to improve access to and quality of social services to address social and economic justice. So you may ask and you may wonder, and I know some students are drawn to this, why we bring public health, social work, and social policy professionals under one roof. And we really believe that the Brown School is unique in advancing education and research in social work, public health, and social policy. It really offers a valuable opportunity for collaboration and impact across fields that really are deeply interconnected. And I think right now in this time of COVID-19, we've really seen that public health and social work and social policy are really critical, and there's really no better time to start your education and training and continue a career that addresses these issues, and thinking about how COVID has impacted health in terms of inequality, racial disparities, and mental health issues. And the Brown School is uniquely positioned to address these needs through our education and research in social work, public health, and social policy. This is a quote from one of our esteemed colleagues, Dr. Vetta Sanders Thompson. She reminds us that if we as a society have disparities in income and education, we will have disparities in health. People can't begin behind and just miraculously catch up, barring something extraordinary. Through teaching and research, I want to make the extraordinary possible. And I think she speaks for all of us when we say that. That's what we aim to do at the Brown School, and that's why we're so excited for you to join us in this journey as well. So a little bit about our curriculum in the public health program. We were designed to be a little bit different. At the inception of our program, our faculty really understood and knew the importance of taking a transdisciplinary approach to education. And what we mean by transdisciplinary is that it takes many different professions to solve complex social and health issues. Just because we're classically trained in public health does not mean that we have the market on public health solutions. We really need to collaborate and understand and learn from other disciplines to help us solve these issues. So we really have a focus on that in our education and training. We have a health equity focus, so understanding what are the needs for people to achieve the best health outcomes that they are capable of, and how do we focus our programs and our research to really make an impact in health equity. It's evidence-based, and we apply our research in our teaching. So our faculty are deeply involved in applied research in the field, and they're using this research and evidence base to inform their teaching and the learning environment for our students in the classroom. And lastly, we have skill labs. So these are a requirement of our program. Students take skill labs that are really meant to be resume builders, where you get kind of a deep dive into particular skills. And I'm going to go over those in a little bit more detail when I talk a little bit more specifically about our curriculum in just a few minutes. At the Brown School, we have 6 STEM designated specializations. So we have the generalist, epidemiology and biostatistics, a global health specialization, health policy analysis, mental and behavioral health, and urban design. And I'm not going to go into each one of these in a lot of detail right now, but there is recordings, little short information sessions, overviews of each of these specializations that admitted students can take a look at. And I really encourage you to take a closer look at some of these specializations so you can understand a little bit more about what we offer at the Brown School. We also have an optional certificate in violence and injury prevention. We offer a number of dual degrees and joint degrees at the Brown School. So you can come to the Brown School and do your master's degree in public health and in social work, or public health and social policy. And then our joint degree programs are programs that we offer with other schools across Washington University. So we have a Master's of Public Health and an Anthropology PhD, Public Health and Architecture, Public Health and Business Administration, Public Health and Law, Public Health and Medicine, and also Public Health and Occupational Therapy. So if you're interested in either the dual or joint degree options, please let us know and we can walk you through what those programs look like. So now I'm going to take an overview of what our first year looks like. We have a foundations sequence, and these courses are kind of what we think of as kind of traditional buckets in public health, of really the foundational knowledge and foundational competencies that you need to have to enter the field, and also to go on and get deeper training within your specializations. So everyone takes a 3-credit course in epidemiology, biostatistics, health behavior and health promotion, environmental health, and health administration and policy. In your first year, there are some additional requirements through our research methods sequence and some additional coursework. So everyone in their first year also takes research methods, planning, implementing, and evaluating evidence-based programs and interventions. That is a very long name for the class, and if you hear us referring to a course called PI, that's what we mean. So we lovingly call this class PI instead of using the whole name in case you hear that somewhere else. All first-year students are required to take 2 credits of public health seminar, 1 credit of cross-cutting themes in public health. Cross-cutting themes is a course that you'll take with your entire cohort. We introduce big, as the name implies, cross-cutting themes such as evidence-based practice, transdisciplinary problem solving, ethics, health disparities and health equity in this course. And then public health seminar is our small group discussions. So you'll have this course with around 10 to 12 of your peers, led by a faculty member, and we discuss specific cases that are related to some of those broad cross-cutting themes that we introduce in cross-cutting themes of the course. And then there's room in your first year to start with some electives or specialization courses. And now I'm going to turn it over to Ragini, and she's going to introduce herself and talk a little bit more about what happens after your first year in the program.
Thanks, Angela. Hi, everyone. My name is Ragini Maddipati. I am a faculty member in the public health program, and I work in the Office of Field Education. So I oversee the practicum process for our Masters of Public Health students, along with our dual degree MSW MPH students. So in the summer, between your first and your second year is when you'll complete your field work. So this is what we call practicum, and that will be 3 credits. And so you might be wondering, why field education is an essential piece of your preparation for public health practice. So the role of field education in your overall curriculum and educational experience is to allow you to integrate theory and practice learning in the field. So essentially, you're just taking what you learn in the classroom and your previous experiences and practicing public health under the supervision of a professional. So what distinguishes the field education experience at the Brown School? So our field education experience is designed for student agency and autonomy. So we believe in student self-determination. And so all Brown School students are able to select their own practicum. So we do not place students in practicum, and we have about 400 plus affiliated practicum sites that students are able to choose from. The Office of Field Education is here for students throughout their entire curriculum. So that's from the moment that you start at the Brown School to graduation. We're currently a team of 7 faculty members. We all have different areas of expertise. So even if I don't have the answer, I work with my colleagues to make sure that we set all of our students up for success in the practicum search process. And then lastly, field education aims to integrate your curriculum learning with field experience. So this could be through the application of theory or methods, or the use of skills that you've learned in the classroom during practicum. So for example, you may take a skill lab that Angela will talk a little bit more about, but that teaches you a certain statistical software, and then you're able to use those skills while you're in practicum. So what will you do during practicum? So all Brown School students in the MPH program are required to complete 360 hours of experiential learning. And this is what comes out to the equivalent of 3 credit hours in the program. You may choose to complete those hours at a variety of organizations or agencies, and that can be based on your specialization in the program or if you have a specific area of interest. So where will you complete your practicum? So it really depends. So depending on your specialization, you may choose to complete your practicum locally within the St. Louis region or nationally within the United States. And then we also have global opportunities available for our students who specialize in the global health specialization as well. And then lastly, when will I complete my practicum? Um, So typically MPH students are going to begin their search for practicum in the spring semester of your first year. So that's usually your second semester in the program. Students will then reach out and interview for practicum throughout their spring semester. And then the majority of MPH students will complete their practicum in the summer between their first and second year. And then lastly, who's going to offer support or who will offer support during the practicum process? So all MPH students are required to take a 3-hour one-time course, and we call that Foundations of Field Education, and that's taught by a field faculty member. The purpose of the course is to introduce students to field education, public health practice, the importance of field education in your overall curriculum, and the process of searching and attaining a practicum. So all students will take this course in their spring semester prior to starting the practicum search process. And then, as I mentioned before, the Office of Field Education is here to help. We have 7 field faculty members with various areas of expertise. And again, we do work together to ensure our students are set up for the practicum process. And now I will turn it back over to Angela.
Great, thank you, Ragini. And after you come back from your summer of an exciting practicum, you're ready to really start taking a deeper dive into your specialization and your elective courses. So again, I'll kind of give a brief overview of this, and I want to emphasize, and I should have said this earlier, that a lot of this is not terribly prescriptive in how you move through the program. You do have to follow certain sequencing for the foundations courses and for your specialization courses, but you will work really closely with your academic advisor on the sequencing that makes the most sense for you and for your particular specialization. But in that second year, this is when you take a deeper dive into the transdisciplinary problem solving courses that we have. Each student is required to take 2 of these courses. And I'm going to talk about these in a little bit more detail on the next slide. You take 3 skill labs, so all MPH students are required to take 3 1-credit skill labs. And a little bit more about those. They are short courses. They are 1 credit each, but they do focus on a particular skill. As Ragini was saying, maybe you'll take skill labs in data management software like R or SAS or Stata. We have skill labs in GIS, in grant writing, in program and project management, a whole host of skill labs that we offer every semester that really are meant to help students build their resume and build skills in those particular areas. And then in the second year, you're also focusing on your electives or your specialization required courses. And then there's also applied linear modeling, and that's the last course in our research method sequence. And depending on your specialization, you may take this in your first year, but many of our students also take it in their second year in the program as well. Oops, I had myself there. Okay, so some of our recent TPS courses, I'll talk about these in a little bit more detail. So again, like I said earlier, with transdisciplinary problem solving, we really try to integrate knowledge and learning from other disciplines through these courses and really get public health students understanding how to address these public health challenges through not only a public health lens, but through the lens of other disciplines as well. So these are some of our campus-based courses. As you can see, we have kind of a host of different topics: chronic disease, obesity prevention and public health, global hunger and undernutrition, climate change, youth violence prevention, eliminating health disparities, child abuse maltreatment prevention, and a host of others. And in normal times when we are allowed to travel, we also have field-based transdisciplinary problem-solving courses. And these courses, there's an application process, but it allows students to travel to these field-based courses and learn in different countries. So we've had some in Costa Rica, in Australia, in Germany, and then also a trip to the Washington, D.C. in the United States on policy making and advocacy. So we're really excited to offer these courses again, hopefully in the very near future, and maybe spring of 2022 or summer of 2022. So these are kind of just a sample of the courses that we've offered, and we're continually adding new TPS courses to our curriculum as well. And then at the end of the program, students have a couple of other additional requirements. The first one is capstone. So capstone is a two-part course. Each of those are 1 credit hour. And capstone is a learning experience that really demonstrates the synthesis of foundational and specialized public health competencies. I like to call the capstone kind of the cherry on top. Students get to select a project that they want to work on. They get to select a public health issue that is of importance to them. And they kind of conceptualize what this is going to be. They work closely with a faculty member to think about what their capstone project is going to be. And it can come in the form of a grant proposal, a research paper, secondary data analysis and research report, a program plan, a program or policy evaluation. And you're really integrating the competencies that you have gained through the program through a high quality written project. So Capstone 1 is a preparation course and the course where you conceptualize your project. And then Capstone 2, you work closely with a faculty assessor who guides you through the writing and the completion of your capstone. And then at the Brown School, we require all students public health students to sit for and pass the certified and public health exam before they graduate from the program. We kind of believe in the professionalization of this degree, and this serves as something of a licensure for public health. There's a movement for licensure and then national discussion about licensure for public health. So our students sit for and pass that exam as well in the program. And then we have a rather holistic advising structure at the Brown School. So you'll have 3 different advisors in your time here. The first one is your academic advisor, and this is the person who will help that you are registering for the classes that you need, that the sequencing makes sense, that you're within your credit caps, that you are taking the courses for your specialization. And all our academic advisors are well versed on academic support resources for our students. The second advisor that you will have is a faculty or specialization advisor. So your faculty advisor really connects your classroom experiences and your out of classroom opportunities at the Brown School. They guide students in the conceptualization of the capstone project and really just act as a means of support for students and trying to connect them to other opportunities, networking opportunities, or career opportunities that fits the students' educational and career interests. And then finally, as Ragini was discussing, you will have a field education advisor, and they support you as you choose your site and you identify your goals for your practicum. They help have conversations with partners for your field experience, and they also offer daily field faculty advisor of the day drop-in hours, so you have access to field education faculty and advisors on exactly what you need to be doing for your practicum experience. So I highly encourage everyone to take full advantage of this advising system. It's really important that you work closely with your academic and your field education advisors to get you through the program in the proper sequence. And then I also encourage everyone to work closely with your faculty advisor, because that is a really great opportunity to network, to learn more about different opportunities, and to really help you be successful in your capstone. So with that, we are going to end this presentation. Ragini and I both have some contact information on here. We were not joined today by our program manager, but her contact information is here as well as the email address for our Office of Admissions and Recruitment. And we really encourage you to reach out and to be in relationship with us. And anytime you have a question or concern, so please let us know, and we're happy to assist in the process. So thanks so much again for joining us, and we look forward to connecting with you sometime soon.